welcome to Total Running Club's podcast. I'm Jeff Ross, and today we have a guest that has inspired many Malaysian runners, and in particular many female Malaysian runners. Sheela Samivellu is the national 21K record holder, and we're honoured that she's giving her time to the Total Running Club community with our podcast today. So hi Sheela, welcome.
Hey, hi Jeff. How are you?
Yeah, I'm good. Thanks so much for joining us.
Sure, no problem.
Okay, I am going to open with a really simple question. Can you tell us, why do you run?
Why am I running? Okay, so I started at the age of 5 and the journey is continued till now. So because running is my passion, I think maybe this is the main reason why I am running till now.
And how old are you now, Sheela, if you don't mind me asking?
Jeff, I think you know my age, right?
I don't. I know you're a veteran like me.
Okay, how you want me to say? Yeah. Okay. You want me to say my age?
I'm looking to calculate how many years you've been running approximately, but you don't have to give it exactly.
Okay. I've been running about 35 years.
Oh, wow. That's a lot of running. Okay. So if you've been running that long, you obviously enjoy it. Tell me what you enjoy about running. Why do you do it?
So put aside running as a competitions, I look running as one of my physical activities for me to stay active, to look healthier, and also I want to keep the positive vibes with myself most of the time. And as you know, I'm a career woman. I just want to get rid of my stress. And I think running is helping that a lot. So the reason why I choose running in my life is because I just want to stay healthy. And I don't want to put a lot of stress on myself. I just want to enjoy and I just want to love, my running, the journey of my, as a runner.
Yeah, no, that's great. I can relate to that for sure, and we'll talk about your training and your routine a little bit later. Good. So, if you don't mind, I'd like to sort of dig back a little bit back to when you were young. Can you remember what sort of got you into running when you first started?
Okay, that time I was 5 years old. I joined. I think there's one race organized by a small community. It was 10 kilometers. And I completed that 10 kilometer at that age.
Wow.
I don't know what position I got that time, but my parents were there with me. So that's how I started at very young age. But no one forced me. It comes from myself. Mm-hmm. So because I love to run. So my parents also encourage me till now.
Okay, great. So the next question I wanted to ask, which kind of feeds on from that, do you have a history in your family of sports and sporting achievement? Are you a sporty family?
Yeah, my both parents are active in sports. My mom used to run at a young age. She used to win in many competitions. So I think maybe because that is the reason why I'm active.
Right. Mm-hmm. So do you think your talent comes from your mum?
Yeah, and exactly. I think that would be the reason.
Anyone else in the family?
My sisters, brothers, everyone is a very sporting family. Everyone is in sports background. They love physical activity somehow. Mm-hmm. So I would categorize my family as one of the sports family.
Yeah, sounds like it. Do you think you're a role model within your family? Do you have nephews and nieces that look at you and think, "Wow, I want to be like Sheela"?
Yeah. Sometimes my sister's son, used to say that he loves running, but I don't know because he's very young age. Let's see how it goes.
Okay, great. And when you're not running, what do you like to do apart from work?
I love to cook, so I do a lot of cooking. I like to bake, so I bake sometimes. But now I don't have time to bake. So, but I I got to start my baking. So, and then what else I do? Cooking, and then watching TV, watching sports channel, watch some YouTube about running. Basically that is, what I will do if I'm not running.
Okay, great. So definitely our listeners are going to be interested to learn more about how you train and try and hopefully get a few tips and see if we can get some success from what you do, copying what you do. So perhaps you could describe an average training week for me. I think that'd be really helpful.
Okay, so because I'm running at 8 or 5, I think I carry a lot of experience. So I don't set any specific target. It's like this week I need to cover about a few mileage. No, I don't set any targets. So it's based on my, like, how do I feel on the day? If let's say I feel very good, then I will go more. Will cover more mileage. Because since I'm doing 10k and I'm doing 21k, so I don't think so. I need more mileage to cover. So basically, I will cover about 10 kilometer, 12 kilometer, sometimes 15 kilometer. It's based on my body conditions on that day. So at this age, I don't put a lot of pressure on myself. So I don't want to stress myself, because if I stress myself, then my performance will go down. So I just want to maintain my performance, so that I will make sure that my training is not, hit the wall. So I will make sure that I just cover, a few mileage, not more than. Sometimes it's not. I don't think so. It's more than 100 kilometers. It's impossible to achieve 100 kilometer, and even 90 kilometer. It's impossible to achieve sometimes.
Okay. But that still sounds pretty high numbers. So for many of us listening, the idea of 90k a week is not achievable. But I like the fact that you say you listen to your body and you don't necessarily chase mileage. I think a lot of runners here in Malaysia become a bit obsessed with targets, and I must do 100 this week, or I must do 50 this week. So it's good to hear that. So do you run every day?
Yeah, I run every day, but I take about 1.5 day rest. Probably Sunday is my rest day. So if I don't have any competition, then I will rest on Sunday. But if let's say there is a competition, means then it's my rest day will be based on the competition day. Maybe if Sunday is the racing, if let's say Sunday is the race day, then Saturday will be my rest day.
Okay, yeah. I think it's important, isn't it, to try and take a rest day once per week. Yes. Definitely useful. Have you had many injuries during your running career?
Okay, so far I don't have any injuries. So far I don't have any injuries. Maybe you know that I had a bad accident in 2018. That is that's the injury, the head injury. That was an accident. So besides that, I don't have any major injuries. That's the reason, because I don't cover a lot of mileage. That's one reason, and I don't force myself. And because I don't think so I need to cover more mileage, because since I'm doing only 21 kilometer and 10 kilometer, I think 15 kilometer is just enough for me to run 21.
So just to dig into that a little bit more, here in Malaysia, the Saturday or Sunday long run LSD is very popular. Everyone's, I've got to do my LSD this weekend. So for you, what is your longest run that you would do in a training for a 21k?
Sometimes I just cover 2 kilometers, honestly speaking. I just cover 12 kilometers, and I think that's why I say that, because I'm running from early age. So my experience carries a lot. So I think 12 kilometers, I think maybe I can do my 21 kilometers, because I think I'm already build up my endurance, and I have stamina. So, it's okay for me, with that 12 kilometers, I can compete already 21.
I think that's an important point, that it takes many years to build that endurance, and there's no there's no exact science to it, but people say 7 years it takes in order to get that running base. Some people say 10 years. And so I think a lot of newer runners are not patient perhaps enough on that and want to do a marathon straight away. But you do have to build that endurance, especially if you want to avoid injury. And that's clearly worked for you, which is great.
Yes, basically nowadays I'm just maintaining my performance.
Okay. Yeah. Okay, great. And do you plan ahead your training, or did you plan ahead your training when you were a bit more serious, maybe like 5-10 years ago, or did you also just see how you felt on the day? What was your strategy with that?
Okay, during the race, is it?
No, so if you were preparing for a 21K, did you structure your training, or you just see how you go on the day?
Okay, basically, if I go for a big races, let's say I'm doing, for example, I'm doing my Standard Chartered Cal Marathon, for example, 21 kilometers. So then I will, do a proper training according to the, to my schedule. So because I want to make sure that I have enough rest and enough mileage, because anything can happen on the race day. So that you must be physically and also mentally prepared. So for that particular race, usually I will prepare myself. So with the proper, arrangements, training and also meal.
Okay. Good. So with your training, I know you don't have a coach. You've always just coached by yourself, if I'm correct. So is there any particular session that you make yourself do that you know is particularly hard? What session do you dread?
Yeah, workout.
What do you mean? Gym?
Speed workout. Speed workout. Speed workout. Speed workout, I think I enjoy long runs. I enjoy recovery runs, long runs, and easy runs. But I think for runners like me, if even though we don't have a coach, I think when there is a sessions about speed workout, definitely I will be like, oh no. You can die during your speed session.
Yeah, I'm exactly the same. For a track session, I know it's going to hurt like hell, and actually, I'm more nervous about a track session than a race. Yes. And do you do those by yourself, or do you do it in a group?
No, usually I do by myself. So because I think it's easy to do by yourself because we know already what pace that you're going to run. So we just set the pace and then, just do a lot of repetitions, right? That we do a lot of repetitions. So the repetition based on the pace. So shouldn't be a problem. But if it's a group, I would be happier. But, since I'm working, some of my friends cannot, match with my time. So usually I will do my track session by myself.
Yeah. So if there was one session that you feel has helped you the most, or that you sort of go-to session, what would it be? 1K reps, 800s? What's your favorite session that you think is most effective?
600 meter. I love 600 meters, okay? Because 600 meters in between, so I don't feel, tired, and I don't feel, it's like, easy to go because it's a 400 meter, one loop, and then just a 200 meter. But I think if you ask me to do 400 meters, a few reps, then it's a very hardest session for me, 400 meter sessions. But 600 meter, I think it's just a moderate for me. I don't feel very difficult.
And how many reps would you typically do of that?
600 meter, usually we will do 8 times.
Okay.
8 times, yes.
With a rest period between, or you're jogging between?
No, just rest, 2 minutes.
2 minutes, right. Okay.
We just rest 2 minutes.
Yeah. But you're pushing a pretty fast pace, I'd imagine, on that.
Yeah.
600.
It's about, I will make sure that it's about 210, 212, around that pace.
Right.
So
yeah.
Okay.
Right.
Yes.
Okay. We're going to talk in a second about your 21K record. That's something I want to get into. I wanted to ask you if you have any advice to someone about balancing running and career.
It's a very hard. I will say that it's very, very hard. It's a very challenging for myself as well, because managing work and play is not that easy as many think. especially when you are a podium runner. You need a lot of disciplines for you to achieve what you want when it comes to sports. Because I think, let's say, if you want to go for a competitions, you need enough mileage. At the same time, you have some KPI to achieve as well in office. So this too is not something easy. It's a very difficult, but somehow with God grace, I'm managing both very well because I think maybe I have the discipline, and I love running, and running is my passion. So that's the reason why I could balance both running and also my work style very well.
Yeah, I like the fact that you picked out discipline. I think running training is all about patience and consistency and discipline, and you have to want to do it really if you're going to do that. And it's a long process, isn't it? It's not just a couple of weeks.
I think without discipline, you cannot go anywhere.
Yeah,
you cannot go somewhere.
I think that's a good rule for life in general, isn't it? And will you still be running when you're a 70-year-old woman, Sheela?
Yeah, of course, I will. I just want to run. It's not to win the competition, but I just want to make sure to ensure that I just want to keep myself healthy and fit. So I think the journey will continue forever.
Yeah, I hope so too for me. We'll see. I'm closer to 70 than you, I think. Okay, so let's dig into the 21K national record. So from my notes, I believe you achieved that fantastic accomplishment in August 2016 during the Standard Chartered KL Marathon, and the time was, if I'm not mistaken, 1:24:44.
Yep.
So, firstly, well done, awesome. You must be really proud of that. So tell me about that day. How was it?
Okay, 2006, I think 2006 was one of the fantastic year for me because I achieved a lot of, victories on that year, 2016. So I did 1:24:50 something in Nike 21 kilometer on that year, which was in April, somewhere in April. So it's just a few months gap. Because Standard Chartered was in August, so in 4 months gap, I was a bit surprised also because I still could run 1:24:44 in August because that is not something easy because just for 4 months gap that I could achieve few minutes. I could reach it a few minutes, and that was record as a national record, and I think that moment was very indescribable moment. I would say that. Proud moment as well because when I did my national record in Standard Chartered KL Marathon, and that route is not that easy. It's a very hilly route for 21 kilometers. So somehow I managed it. I think I really need to thank to the race director and also to the entire organizer.
Okay, and during that race, were you aware that you were doing a good speed and that you were on track for that? Or did you really know when you crossed the line?
Okay, I did a few, in terms of training, I covered some speeds, and then I make sure that I have enough mileage, to sustain my to sustain the 21 kilometer. Mm-hmm. So it was like, I wouldn't say that it's a long run in 21 kilometer. It was speed run. It's like a 10 kilometer for me on that day because I was speeding from the beginning. Just close to 1:24.
Right. And did you feel during the race that you were achieving something special? Did you feel on the day, wow, I'm feeling good today?
Actually, I suffered. After 70 kilometer, I suffered. After 70 kilometers, because I think 70 kilometer, if I could still remember, I think that was the Parliament route. The Parliament route is a bit hilly. So I got about 5 kilometers to go, about 4 kilometers to go that time. So I was suffering, but I was thinking that I have to go because someone is waiting me at the finish line. So I must do something on this day. So that's what keep on saying in my mind. So that's how I break the national record.
Right. And I'm interested in this personally. So when you're feeling that pain that we've all felt in the last, let's say, 20% of a race, your body's telling you just stop, just slow down. So how do you overcome that pain? How do you block out that pain?
I was keep on saying to myself that I have to go, because I already covered 17 kilometer, and 17 kilometer was a very super timing. So when I look at my watch, I know already if I could run the 4 kilometer with these days, that will be the national record for this for today. So so I was like, no, don't get tired. You just run. I was like keep motivating myself on the day.
Yeah, no, that's great. And did you manage to sprint the last 500 meters? Were you pushing?
I was sprinting like hell. Because for runners, few minutes also is very important, right?
Yeah.
So, I was like sprinting.
Yeah, great. Oh, it's wonderful to hear that. And how did you feel when you crossed the line, apart from exhausted? But
okay, so when I crossed the line, then they told me that it was a national record. I just, because I was too exhausted, so I just sat for a while, and with all the cameras, photographer was there, taking pictures and on. But after that, they bring me for the doping test. So after the doping test done, then only they announced the results. And after 2 weeks, the race director contacted me and then informed me that, okay, so the doping test is okay. So now we want to verify this as a national record. So that's how the journey, all of the national records.
Great. Oh, well done again on that. Have you ever run a marathon, Sheela?
No, I don't. That's a reason why I don't do marathon, because I don't have enough time to cover a mileage. Because I think to do a marathon, you must have a super mileage with you. So at least you need to cover about 30 kilometers, once a week. So since I don't have a time to do that, so I think better, I stay a few steps back from marathon. So let me concentrate what I can do for now.
Do you think you'll ever do one? Maybe later when you're just for fun?
Yeah, I have a dream. Definitely, I will do one. Okay. But not now. Not that soon.
Yeah. Okay, good. No, I think it's important to stick to your strengths sometimes, isn't it? And especially in Malaysia, a marathon is very draining. It takes a lot of energy, and the heat takes a lot out of you.
Exactly.
It's not an easy thing to take on. So.
Yeah.
Okay, great. So I'd like to move on. Just a couple more sections to cover. Talking about Malaysia and the country and its running and its health. So, what do you think Malaysia needs to do in order to become a healthier nation? This is a big question.
Okay, now the situation has been changed is because I think after the MCO, and now it's a CMCO, many Malaysians are now out there is take up running as one of their physical activities. I can say that nowadays, so many people, it's doing their running as part of their life, because they just want to stay healthy, and they know that running is one of the easiest activities to do it. You don't need to use a lot of money. You just need a shoes and some attire, t-shirt, and also some shorts. Just wear that, and then you can go out for a run. I can say that you can save a lot of cost when you choose running as one of the activities. And I can say that so many Malaysians nowadays, especially now, after the MCO, take up running as one of the physical activities, including my friends. So I'm glad to see that. Mm-hmm. So now Malaysia is moving towards healthier nations because they are aware the importance of healthy lifestyle.
Yeah. No, it is good that there's a positive from COVID, and certainly where I run, there's a lot of cyclists and a lot of runners that you never saw before, which is great. Yeah, which is fantastic. Yeah, and talking at a more serious level, for the Southeast Asia Games, are there any runners that you know from Malaysia that have good prospects and that are running and training well at the moment?
I have few friends. They are training very hard for the SEA Games, so they have a very high prospects. I can see that they are doing very well in their training. But as a runner, I don't want to put a lot of pressure on them. Let them do their training, and I know how nervous when they train for SEA Games or Asian Games or any big competitions. Let them focus on their trainings. So because we don't know what's going to happen on the day. So just concentrate on the training. Maybe, with the God grace, they can win a medal for our country.
Okay, you're keeping your cards close to your chest there. Fair enough. Do you have any advice for any young Malaysians that want to take up running and want to be the best at running? What advice would you give to them?
Okay, a very simple advice. Don't pressure yourself, because you cannot pressure yourself at a very young age. You will get bored easily. So for you to sustain long, just enjoy and love running. Because running is something that you got to love. If let's say you don't love, then you cannot do it. So you must enjoy you must enjoy your running, and don't put a lot of pressure at young age. Don't stress yourself. That would be my best advice for everyone, not only for young people, but also to the beginners and also to the serious runners. Because sometimes I can see that the elites also putting a lot of pressures on them, because they want to do something good. But end of the day, I can't see much good performance on them. So that's the reason why I'm saying that as a runner, don't ever put pressure on you.
Yeah, no, I like that. I think enjoying it first is a very important part of why you do something. Yeah, sometimes we forget that, I think. Yeah. Okay, I've got 3 quick fire questions for you, Sheela. So short and snappy answers I'm looking for. If you had to run one running event anywhere in the world, which one would you like to do and why?
Okay, I want to try Gold Coast. A Gold Coast half marathon in Australia, because I just want to see how the course, how different is the course in Malaysia and also in Australia. So I would choose, very near to our Gold Coast half marathon. So maybe one day.
What time would you target for that? It's flat and cool. What would be your target?
No, actually, I was, targeting, I think somewhere in last year, planning to go to Australia, to do a Gold Coast, but unfortunately we can't make it. So maybe I don't think so this year also can be happen. So maybe, I got to wait until this pandemic is over.
But for a finish time, what would you be aiming for? 120?
Because in 2019 I had experience competing in Shenzhen's half marathons. So it was a cold weather. It's not that cold. It's about 18 similar to Cameron Islands weather. So I did 123. That was my personal best,
right,
in Shenzhen, but unfortunately couldn't recognize as a national record because we didn't do any doping test there. So maybe that's the reason why I want to test, to run in Gold Coast, see whether I can improve that 123 or not.
Okay, good. You've probably already answered this, but I'll ask it again anyway. What do you love most about the sport of running?
What I love most of what?
About running, about the sport.
About running. But running is something easy for me to do it because I think I just need 20 minutes sometimes to run. If I want to play any games, I need more time, right? So I have to team up with some of my friends to do it. But once it comes to running, it's something is individual, your inner strength. So you don't need to wait for anyone. You just can wear your shoes and go out for a run. So at anywhere, at any time. So I think maybe that is a reason why I choose running as one of my activity and the easiest ways for me to stay healthy as well.
Got it. Okay, thanks. Last question. What's your favorite Malaysian food, Sheela?
Okay, I love thosai. Thosai is an Indian food. Yeah. I love. Even though I know how to make a thosai, so my mom cooked very well, thosai and curry as well. But I don't know why I love thosai a lot, and I love Nasi goreng kampung. Kampung fried rice. So whenever I travel, when I go abroad, the two things that I will miss most is dosa and also nasi goreng kampung. I don't know why until now.
Okay. Actually, we didn't touch much on nutrition. Maybe just a final couple of questions on that. So I'm assuming you're not eating nasi goreng every day. You have to keep a reasonably healthy balance with your nutrition. So, I mean, that's a challenge in Malaysia. We're in a culture where food is a big part of the country, and it's probably not the healthiest food in the world. How do you manage your diet? Are you very careful, or can you eat what you want and you just run it off?
Okay, I think I don't have that problem because I'm not a good eater. Okay, I don't eat that much, so I will eat a very little portion. So I don't go for fast food, so shouldn't be a big problem for me because I don't eat KFC, McDonald's, all this fast food I don't eat. So I don't take highs. So I think maybe that is a lot of advantage for me as a runner. It's not because of running. It's not because I'm very active into sports, just because I don't love to take all these, fast food, ice, something cold, I don't really love to consume. So somehow it's helped me to keep up my stamina as well. So basically I don't have any nutrition plan. So I just cook whatever, I just eat whatever that I like to eat, but not that much, in a very little portion.
Okay. Well, you're lucky. I think you probably have a pretty high metabolism, and you should enjoy that, which is good. But I think the small portions, that's a good little tip for people.
Yeah, it's enough.
Yeah. Okay. Well, thank you so much, Sheela. I think just to wrap up, I made a couple of notes as we spoke, and probably 2 or 3 points that stand out for me that I think are going to be what people have most got out of today. And those for me would be not pressuring yourself with your running.
Exactly.
Enjoy it. I think that's a fantastic motto. I like the way you approach your training, and you ensure to have a rest day and not push yourself too hard. But of course, you've still got to do sessions, and you have to put in the work in a disciplined manner. And that brings me on to the final point of discipline and patience. Running is a journey. It takes time to improve. It takes time to build up your strength.
Exactly.
So you have to want to do that, and you have to enjoy it and not want to rush that. So I think those points all came across for me very clearly. Okay, so thanks everyone for listening to the podcast with Sheela Samivellu and myself, Jeff Ross. Please remember to sign up via the Total Running Club website, where you get access to our weekly free community content, including training workouts and tips, music playlists, podcasts, articles, and many more features. So please stay tuned for the next podcast. Thanks very much.
Thank you. Thank you, Jeff.
Thanks, Sheela.
Thank you.
See you soon. Take care. Thank you.
See you. Take care too. Bye.